Sorry. There we go. Going live. Coffee and crypto. I think we're live now. Perfect. Hey, that's a perfect time to get my wake up alarm. 2. Well, hello. So welcome Saturday morning. Every Saturday morning, coffee and crypto. Sorry, I have the new Wall Street's crypto bets subreddit. We'll take a look at that a little bit later. I find it interesting to know what the degens are doing. Big news in crypto right now is Cardano is up and the rest of the crypto market is down. We look at Cardano right now compared to the US dollar, and then Cardano right now compared to Ethereum, going on a huge breakout, huge jump up. And then again, Cardano against BTC, again, another breakup. So right now, everything is kind of looking a little bit bearish. And then we have Cardano, just obviously doing Cardano things. And we've talked about this a lot, how Cardano holds so well of support at these high levels after certain pumps. So definitely a good Saturday to wake up to. This Cardano price is really nice. Where is it going to go? I still think that, we are going to go for that $4 Cardano at some point soon. But we obviously have to reach to our all-time high, and the crypto market needs to look a little bit more healthy. But we had that Chinese FUD that happened, China banning crypto again. And I wasn't being facetious or anything in the last video when I was talking about, okay, they're banning transactions, they're banning exchanges. What's next? They are going to ban hodling. They are going to ban actually holding crypto, and they most likely will seize crypto from their citizens. That's no joke. I actually believe that something like that will most likely happen. Done it before. Countries have seized gold before and seized other assets, so I can fully see them say, okay, listen, it's illegal to have an exchange. It's illegal to transact. Now it's illegal to hold. So I can definitely see that being the next step that China takes. Obviously, right now it's not impacting the market like incredible. It's hit the market so much worse sometimes before when China has announced some sort of ban or crackdown. We've seen the market capitulate 20-30%. And really, we haven't seen all that much. I mean, yeah, we're below $2 trillion on the total market cap. We did go down pretty dramatically. That was a pretty crazy wick down here, but our candle ended pretty high up. Bitcoin is still at a good price, 42,000, still above that 42,000 that we've discussed before. So again, that 42,000 line kind of lines up right here. We're kind of at that support. And that 42,000 line can be drawn because of this interaction with the price back there. So right now we have some support. Bitcoin is fighting. I'm not saying that Bitcoin can't go down below 42,000. That's always possible. But either way, I'm just kind of stressing the fact that if you look at this band compared to other China bands, really hasn't done much for the crypto market other than give us some good buying opportunities for some cryptocurrencies. How's it going, Gary? How's it going? How's it going, Journey? Welcome. Yeah, so overall, I don't see a big deal with the Chinese crackdown. And like I said, Cardano is still up amidst this Chinese crackdown. Now, there is the Cardano Summit. If anyone's interested with this, you have to go register, sign up, and I guess they'll send you a link. I'm not sure, but I think the summit is organized in different areas. Like there's a summit in Toronto, Canada. I could have gone. Obviously, I didn't because I'm a recluse and, COVID makes everyone want to stay inside. So there's that. But yeah, I speculate that there are live streams. I'm probably going to sign up so I can watch some live streams later on today. But yeah, exactly. Bitcoin down, ADA up. I'm not going to finish the rest of the sentence, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, I gotta work something out for you guys in the UK, because I know I'm streaming a little early. I've had comments about that. If you are watching this like the VOD version afterwards, I promise I am going to schedule another day in the week that I consistently come on live that is later in the evening for US North America, and then a lot earlier for you guys in England, or a lot more of an appropriate time, I should say. Probably just something that's a little bit better. But yeah, right now Cardano is doing pretty well. How's it going? Thoughts on Crest? I think that's something with Cardano, if I remember right. Let me take a look here for you, and then we can go into some of our news about China and everything else and kind of see what's going on. And again, I don't think anyone should be too worried about anything. Is that on CoinGecko? Because I'm looking up that that ticker and I don't see it. So if you want to get me the ticker or find out if it's on CoinMarketCap, let me know. In terms of the news, and again, China's not that big of a deal, right? Sounds like a big deal. It's not that big of a deal. China is playing whack-a-mole. Regulatory approach is clearly unlikely to derail cryptocurrency, which I completely agree. Mr. Seamus, who's Mr. Seamus here, he is the VP of Strategic Alliance at Metco. I don't know exactly what that company is, but he mentions China is going to be less relevant as the trend of Western adoption, given banks building onto blockchains. So that's an interesting take, and I do agree. As more of the Western world adopts cryptocurrency and blockchain, it does allow for a more China irrelevant crypto market. That being said, China doesn't have to throw away blockchain. Blockchain is still incredibly good technology. They're just going to centralize it, right? They have the digital yuan. They'll have their own internal Chinese blockchains. It won't be decentralized like the rest of the world. So they're not going to fall behind necessarily technologically, but they aren't going to have as much relevance on the actual market. So that I completely agree with, because, you know, China banning crypto, at this point, we're so numb to China banning crypto, so it really isn't anything. Series token. Yeah, okay, that's exactly what I thought it was. I thought it was something with Series. There it is. Okay, it was missing a E. So Series token, and now I believe they also, if I'm right, Series is the organization that does all the tracking. Let's see. So welcome to the Series ecosystem, concepts of burning, airdrops, governance, and charity all in one place. So, okay, is this kind of like a Polka starters for, because I've seen the Series logo. I know they're doing a lot in the Sora ecosystem. I'm just not aware of exactly what they do. So it almost sounds like a Polka starter kind of thing for the Sora network. It's obviously still Substrate, but this is interesting. So I'm gonna have to look more into it. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm a little bit biased. I'm pretty bullish on Zora, PolkaSwap. Series is obviously a player and interactive in the space. I know Series specifically produces their prices, like the fiat prices that PolkaSwap uses. So there's already a lot of integration and collaboration between these two kind of code bases, but I haven't actually looked into the token. Max supply of 25,000, which is a pretty low supply. If you look at, say, what is KSM? I want to say, is KSM 10,000 or 10 million? I feel like it's 10 million. But that's very, very low. When you look at a lower token supply, the price is going to be higher. Now, that doesn't mean that the token is any better or any worse. Yes, so 10 million. It doesn't mean that the token is any better or any worse. It just means each token is going to be worth a lot more in the future. But again, $1,000 in this project doesn't mean it's going to grow more than $1,000 in another project. It just means the individual token, that token itself will go higher. But let's see here what the roadmap looks like. So they have their ILO in, okay, so we're in Q3, ending Q3, I believe right now, going into Q4. So they'll have the PSwap burning tracker, which I think is going to be incredibly powerful to talk to people about the PSwap price, why it's going to continue going up. So that'd be cool. And again, Series is doing a lot of tools to track what's going on with PolkaSwap. I'd be interested to know what else they're planning on doing, but it looks like they're going to build a home for airdrops and charity tokens and everything else. So we will, I guess, see exactly where they go. Now, again, with the founders, we talk about this a lot, making sure that the founders aren't anonymous. And obviously here we have all their contact information, which is very nice to kind of look into and see a little bit more. I definitely am going to take a bit of a deeper dive and see exactly like what we're focusing on here. Because to me, at first glance, it seems more like a Polka starters. Not a bad thing. It seems like a Polka starters type deal, but obviously could do well. So I'm going to keep that on my sights and make sure to keep that in the back of my mind, especially when we're talking about PSwap. Because PokeSwap itself is going to be an incredibly powerful platform. If we look at how we have Uniswap right now with the gas fees and everything, when you look at something like PokeSwap, you're building on a substrate code base. There's a lot of hype around it. It's a very smooth, very easy to use kind of platform. So it's not really hard in any way. You have a built-in bridge, which I haven't seen many dexes with built-in bridges. Like, I've operated on the BSC, I've played around with Matic and on DFIN and QuickSwap and a bunch of others, but I haven't seen a built-in bridge. Even in Solana, I haven't found a built-in bridge. So this has been one of the only ways, but obviously it's built in within the PSwap system, so it's much easier. In my opinion, it's much easier to use. When you get over certain things, like when you get over things like setting up your Polkadot.js wallet and getting signed in, it's very easy. And now you can actually accept your rewards. Here, of course, we still don't have access to see our vested rewards, our PSwap per day. If we take a look at, bear with me here, let me pull up the pswap.info LP. You can see that we're gaining less PSwap now every day. And the reason, not every day, but less, we are gaining less every day. We're gaining less PSwap now because we're on the burn structure. Eventually, we're going to go down to where we are only earning about 40% of the PSwap, and I should say we're gonna go and not earn any of the burns from PSwap. It's just gonna get burnt, and slowly is the PSwap supply going to go down. The reason why I say that is because right now, obviously the vested rewards, the people who are providing liquidity are earning the burnt PSwap, or the majority of the burnt PSwap, and that amount of that burnt PSwap given to the people giving liquidity is going to go down over time. So. But overall, again, with the China crackdown, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Obviously, we're doing very well in terms of Cardano and everything else. Okay, yeah. I can kind of see that. So it's kind of like a chain link / the graph. Well, we kind of have if you look at Substrate too, if you want like a Substrate chain link equivalent, is probably Kylan. Now, I've talked a lot about Substrate blockchains, and I've been right on most of them. One was Mover or Moon River, right? MOVR, right? Yeah. So Moon River, and then we have Glimmer coming out very soon. Moon River, I talked about Moon River when it was somewhere down here, around $130, give or take, maybe even a little bit earlier in the beginning of August. So could have even been in the $80 mark. And I think I did say that it could reach upwards of $400, which is very, very achievable for it. And here it is. It hit 430, 440, and now it's currently sitting at 307. So this is going to be like an Ethereum counterpart on Substrate, right? So for the Polkadot ecosystem, Kylan is almost like the Chainlink equivalent. It's the Oracle. So Kylan as well is going to do very well. If you want to know how to buy Kylan, you can always go down to the bottom of CoinGecko, select here, and kind of see exactly where it's trading right now. Basically just Uniswap. So you can buy Kylan right now. You can't, unfortunately, buy Kylan yet on PokeSwap. As soon as I can, I absolutely will be. But Kylan is definitely, in my opinion, one of the next Substrate blockchains to go. So if you're keeping in touch with that, it's definitely something to keep aware of. But yeah, I could definitely see that with what they're doing already, kind of being like the CoinGecko of the PokeSwap system. I could definitely see that. Okay, so we've talked about that. Bitcoin has obviously been declared dead roughly 36 times this year. I find this funny, and the reason why it's 2x more is a bullish indicator for me, because that just means more and more people are here and more people are looking at Bitcoin, looking at what's going on with Bitcoin. And, that brings more bears. So 2 times the more bears probably means 2 times more people are actually in Bitcoin. We're hearing a lot of noise about Bitcoin. Hell, even the people at my work, even the people at my job are shaking their phones. And I forgot to shake my phone. So if you are Canadian and you have ShakePay, here is your reminder here. But even people at work who the demographic is much older than me, they're all married, they're all fairly old, and most of them are women. They are all shaking ShakePay and talking about Bitcoin, and it's funny. It's funny to see how mainstream this has all gotten in just a year. But obviously, Bitcoin's been pronounced dead approximately 37 times so far in 2021. And they have that according to statistics from 99 Bitcoin. So I don't know exactly what this is, but cool. I've never seen this before. I guess I'll have to take a dive. Looks more like a news site, but I'm assuming that they have some data like this chart here that kind of allows us to understand exactly. So yeah, it says we died 13 times. Now, what's interesting is Bitcoin died 127 times in 2017, right? So the amount of people that called for Bitcoin's death was a lot higher in one of the biggest bull runs that we know of, the biggest bull run in history, going up more to a $20,000 Bitcoin, almost, give or take, so 19,000 and change. Which tells me, how early are we, right? With more population going into Bitcoin, we know more people are into Bitcoin now. How early are we in this market cycle that we only have 37? Maybe that's a metric. Maybe that's something that we need to be aware of, that we could see that go higher. A lot more people kind of putting that nail in the coffin for Bitcoin over and over. Obviously, Bitcoin's not going to die. I've said this in the last video that we did. The genie is out of the bottle. Satoshi Nakamoto knew that there is a very narrow window to kill Bitcoin. But once people pick it up, and once people are just mining Bitcoin and operating the nodes and haphazardly throughout the world, completely decentralized, there's nothing that governments can do. There's nothing that the CIA can do, nothing that China can do, nothing that governments can do to take Bitcoin offline, short of killing like all power in the world or a solar flare, right? So other than two catastrophic events, there's nothing that can be done about removing Bitcoin from our current society. It is going to be engraved in our society. So really, Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Everyone talking about how Bitcoin's going to die, it's a fallacy. It's never going to happen. So yeah, I think right now, exactly everything is just Bitcoin FUD for the most part. This Chinese crackdown and everything else. But we do see on that same level, the Chinese crackdown, Hubai is stopping accepting Chinese users, and Hubai is one of the biggest Asian exchanges. So there's a lot of, I think that they operate out of Singapore. I can't exactly remember. A lot of people in that part of the world definitely use Hubai, and a lot of Chinese people use Hubai. So it's something that is not small for them to kind of finally pull out. This would be the equivalent of Binance saying, okay, we're not helping the US anymore. And at the same level, I mean, like, they had no other option. It's either this or the CCP is going to come down on you hard. So obviously, this is the obvious move for Hubai, but it is looking bearish for China specifically, right? So for people in China, if you, for whatever reason, somebody's watching this through the Chinese firewall, hold your crypto in a cold wallet. Never let that thing go online, and hide it somewhere where nobody's ever going to find it. So that's my best advice for you. How's it going, Jeff? The Economist has a recent piece about what it would take for crypto to go zero. Yeah, I'd actually be interested to read that, because I think it would take a dramatic amount for crypto to actually go to zero. I don't think it's completely possible. So while Bitcoin is maintaining 42,000 amidst all this China bullshit and everything else, Cardano is the only top 10 crypto in the green on the weekend. I did say in the video before with Chinese crackdown that most likely over this weekend we will go green. And if we do take a look at, where did my chart go? There it is. If we do take a look at the chart, we've actually bounced back up. So we were pretty down, right? But this is now wicked, and here's our candle. We're not that far down here to pull this ahead, so we can still end today as a green day. We have 9 hours, just under 9 hours before our daily close here today. We can absolutely end this day green. I don't see a reason why we shouldn't be green other than the China FUD. So I do think over the weekend we are going to pull out of this. That's what I think. Dow and everything else, like traditional markets, are good, even with the Evergrande FUD that is happening. Obviously, that is kind of more of a scary speculation, and again, more centered to China. It can ripple into North America, but most likely not nearly as bad as what China would get. Maybe retail investment in Canada might suffer, but hey, I'm okay with some down house prices. I'm going to tell you that. But Cardano is sitting at that 5.6 up right now, but everywhere else in the crypto market is looking roughly about 1% down, but most likely will make a recovery over this weekend. I do firmly believe that. And I don't think anything dramatic is happening with Cardano to make this price surge, other than the fact that Cardano is a really good blockchain and holds through these kind of downturns very, very well. And if we take a look at Cardano, we can kind of see the channel that we're kind of forming here to trade in. And again, we always end up doing this with Cardano. We always end up forming some sort of a trading channel, trade sideways after making a big leap up. We ignore all the other FUD. We kind of go down a little bit, but we don't reach back to our lows, right? We don't revert back. And now each kind of incline gets less and less and less, but it does just... It's very typical for Cardano when things are bad. Let's just trade level. Let's just do the same thing. Trade within this channel. See what happens. So Cardano is just basically doing exactly that, which is typically nice to see. So yeah, and then we have the Cardano Summit. So again, you can go ahead and click on this link here. I'll link this tweet here in chat for you guys if you want to sign up and take a look at the... Oh, I guess I can't link the tweet. Yeah, I'll link the tiny link for you. Bear with me here. Copy link address. So if you want to sign up and watch the live stream after this, I don't know exactly how it's going to work. I'm going to sign up as well. But I think it's individual cities that are hosting their individual parties. How I saw it, somebody on Twitter was volunteering to host and plan the Toronto party. So it's more of a decentralized thing to what I understand. But I assume there'll be something in the live stream. So if you are interested in that, you can definitely go there. That's tweeted by Cardano Community if you don't want to trust that link. So absolutely check that out. Okay, let's see here. And if at any point, guys, you have any tokens that you want to ask me about, any altcoins that you're interested in, we could take a look there. I'll just kind of run through the list of things that I've been looking into. So one being Solana. Now, we've talked about Solana before. And how, okay, you know, it was really high up here. We were getting a lot of FOMO. I warned you guys, okay, we shouldn't be buying up here unless you don't have a position. I bought a teensy weensy little bit just to get exposure, just to have a little bit. We started going down and I started buying a little bit more. So I started buying it around, that's a little too high, but 161, I think I bought my next little purchase. So again, a little bit more than what I bought before. And then I went and bought somewhere in the 141 range. And I haven't bought since. Now, this is accumulation prices. I'm not dumping a huge amount of money. Not at all. A very, very small amounts of money. Again, because it is so extended. It's so far up that I'm not willing to pay this price right now. But I am expecting that the blockchain will go up. But if you look at where the blockchain is, right, compared to the top 10 of cryptocurrencies on the chart. So if we look here, Solana is number 7 at a market cap of 41 billion. When you're investing in something like that, you have to actually honestly ask yourself, how much higher can this blockchain go in the near term if you're investing for the near term? Now, long term is a totally different question, but how much higher? And arguably not that much higher. We're just shy of XRP's market cap. We're just shy of BNB's market cap. And then we have Tether to overcome there. Then we have Cardano at $76 billion. And then we have Ethereum at $340 billion. Is Solana in the near term going to hit a $340 billion market cap? Probably not. Could it double? Could it hit close to or a little over Cardano's market cap? I mean, that's possible. Is it likely? That's a little bit of a different question. So again, you always have to be careful about that. Think of market caps and think of long-term investments. Of course, I'm buying Solana because the product is good, because what it does in certain areas like DeFi is really cool. I'll take a look here at the Radium farm really quick. I find Radium like a really cool project, really cool DEX. Everything's really fast here. Haven't had any problems with it. They have like their chart order book kind of style. They also have their automated market maker style with just their swaps. They have their different farms, their staking and everything else. So just like any other DEX that you would find, and just everything's really fast. If you want onto the DEX, one thing that I do actually with this is, so I'm mining on my PC, and as my PC mines, it sends Ethereum to the Matic system. And then what I end up doing is I bridge it over through Allbridge and bring it from the Matic system right to Solana, which makes it very easy for me. I'm not paying gas fees for ETH to get here. I can put very small amounts, could be $10 if I wanted to, and I'm only paying a couple of cents on the transaction fee. I think every time I do a transaction, it's like 25 cents USDC. So it's definitely worked out to be good to kind of accumulate very slowly, and not dump in a huge position like I would on other products. So it's been good, but again, I just want to err on the side of caution that, you know, how high could it go up? I'm going to be just saying that it's not going to beat Cardano anytime soon, but that's just me. I've been just single staking Sol on Exodus. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's probably the safer amount. So you can single stake Sol. Now, because I'm on Radium, what I'm doing is I'm providing liquidity on the farm, so people are trading with my assets. So basically, there's a big pool of assets, and two people, or you put in 2 tokens into the pool, so people trade with it. Currently, I'm in the Ray, so the Radium token and the Solana token farm, and that's providing me a 42% APR, and I get the rewards in Ray token, but I, of course, can buy Solana with that Ray token. So that is what I do with it. Now, that's something very similar to what I do with PokeSwap. Most of my PokeSwap investments are actually in the pools, right? So while I hold a little bit of PokeSwap in other ways, I also keep the majority of my assets in the pools, gaining an interest, earning the PSwap liquidity, so that 19.24 a day for these pairs, so PSwap, Val, ETH, and DAI. So I'm gaining that PSwap every day, plus I'm gaining the trading fees amongst the different trades. So I'm getting trading fees that come in from PSwap, and I can obviously accept my rewards here and reapply those rewards back into the liquidity pools. So that's just how I do it with liquidity pools. Obviously, you're at the mercy of 2 tokens, but if you choose 2 tokens that you're bullish on, so for example, going back to Radium, if you choose 2 tokens that you're bullish on, you have a lot less risk exposure if you've done your research. But say I was doing something like, let's see, Polis and Ray. I don't know what the Polis is. I have no idea. And Polis could be a good blockchain. Who knows? But the APR is 120%, right? I'm going for something that's 42%. Why? Because I understand it. I know that neither of these tokens are a rug pull. They're both going to do well in the long term. Both of them are working systems and work very well. That's what I'm going to invest in. I'm going to take a little bit of a safer approach and go with that 42% rather than the 120%. Obviously, if you want to take more risk, you can do that as well. But that's just how I pay attention to that. Same thing happens with PSwap. I'm hugely bullish on PSwap, Val, ETH, and DAI, right? So I'm absolutely fine with providing liquidity on these pairs. No skin off my back at all. And I'm also very bullish on Zor. Of course, Zor isn't going to increase as high as something like maybe Val token. But Zor, the benefit of Zor is it's more of a steady either decline or incline. It's more of a stable market and it's supposed to be a stable token, utility token for the PSwap network. So there's benefits to this DeFi and DeFi and other blockchains, and you can use other blockchains and still make a yield. As we go, Wall Street Bets Crypto, or Wall Street Bets has made a crypto page. So I figured while we kind of talk about tokens here, I'll kind of bring up some memes and we can kind of laugh together and discuss them. One I thought was hilarious, but let me pull this up here for you. This actually feels like what happens with me in the grocery store, because I feel like, okay, I'm gonna budget my grocery buying, budget everything, and then drop the rest of my paycheck on cryptocurrency. So, but so been thinking about doing LP on AVAX network. Thoughts on Pangling? So I don't know enough about AVAX. We'll take a look at Pangling though, because I have no problem with taking a look at a platform. Pangling. Taking a look at a. Oh well, obviously I'm gonna get the animal. AVAX. All right, let's see here. Pangling Exchange. Okay, so they have a bridge, which is nice. So again, this is built-in bridge onto the system, which I like to see. Where is their launch app? There we go. So it just looks a lot like Uniswap, DFIN, everything else. Let's see where their farms are. Yeah, okay, this looks like directly like a DFIN kind of style website, or Uniswap kind of style website. So looking at these, I mean, they're not bad, right? Total APRs are 5%, giving you a breakdown of the swap APR. So if you're going in and you're bullish on AVAX and Pangling, this exchange, you can provide both those tokens up and earn a 60% APR on that token. You'd most likely receive that token in Pang, so PNG. And again, if one token goes up and one token goes down, you end up with more of the token that goes down, which is why you want to be generally bullish on both tokens, typically. So, or you could provide a AVAX and USDT or USDC token for a much higher percent, because obviously people are trading AVAX and USDC and kind of trying to stack their AVAX bags by doing that, or stack their USD bags depending on what their goals are. So I would just I totally encourage you to get into DeFi, and the fact that they have a bridge on the website makes it really easy for you to kind of get in and dip your toes in. Don't put in more than you're willing to lose, and make sure that whatever token pairs you're going for isn't just because of the APR. Because if you go just because of the APR, you could get rug pulled and you could get screwed out. But if you go on tokens that you're bullish on, so say AVAX and Pang, you can still make a 60% APR. That's still really, really good, right? So way over your 6%. So yeah, exactly. Fridge is empty, but crypto is up, right? So I will forego a lot of creature comforts to put more money into cryptocurrency. I actually would, which is why I think that was super funny. Of course, going back to the Wall Street, the Jordan Belfort meme, love it. So let's see here. So much volatility. Has Nano? Oh, I feel like Nano was this thing. I don't know. Is it a thing still now? I feel like Nano was a thing back in 2017 or something. Like everyone was talking about Nano. Now, of course, I have no idea. Some of these memes are out of my scope even, it looks like. But I thought this post was funny. Looks like somebody made an 80K Doge YOLO to go into Dogecoin. And not financial advice, guys. Not financial advice at all, okay? But I wouldn't be buying Dogecoin. That's a lot. That's a lot of purchases in Dogecoin. That makes me a little scared. But hey, 80K YOLO into Dogecoin to kick off this subreddit of just memes and shit posting. So I guess we'll see where this goes. I don't think it's going to have nearly as much gravity as something like what Wall Street's Bets did have with like GME and everything. But hey, the same brand of chicken nuggies just rehashed in crypto form. So there we go. Let's take a look back at the charts here. As soon as I can find my charts, I always seem to lose half of my charting software, so we'll just pull it up again. So if we go down the line, we have Ethereum. Ethereum is now down to that 1940, and we've discussed actually. So with Cardano, Cardano's on a huge breakout against Ethereum and Bitcoin right now. Cardano could even be shooting up almost to all-time highs. Now we've actually talked about that a lot. Well, okay, not all-time high, because all-time high is here, but this doesn't count. I don't count that. So we'll count this as second all-time high. The reason why I don't count that is because that was right when Cardano released its. All speculation, had no like rhyme or like reason in reality. So if we take a look at the all-time high, other than that first all-time high, we're not that far. We're not that far in terms of the Cardano Ethereum valuation to kind of move through. That's roughly 23% right now, and we do see Ethereum trending down and Cardano trending up. So who knows? And Cardano is up 7.7%. We're almost on a breakout here, on a huge increase on the green candle, kind of saying screw this Chinese FUD, and Cardano is going to the moon. So at this point, it's doing very well. With everything, including against Ethereum. But we did talk about how I think over this weekend, everything's going to start flipping over and everything's going to start going green. And you do see just gradually, everything is kind of going green. We have Litecoin, we have Solana fighting with it. We have BNB coming up sub 1%. KSM's coming back up. XRP is 0.16%. Bitcoin is to 0.3%. So we do see that increase going up now. We are kind of increasing our rates, and we did talk about how most likely this weekend will be green because all the traditional markets are green. Did you see someone paid 70K in ETH gas fees on the Time NFT mint? Well, I mean, like, gas fees are like it's not sustainable. Ethereum is not sustainable on the gas fees. That being said, Goldman Sachs has come out and said that Ethereum could possibly be one of the best stores of value that you could have because of the smart contract capability. I think there's a time and a place for Ethereum, but is it going to be what everyone's using every single day to do things like mint NFTs and do simple things on the blockchain? Absolutely not. Gas fees are not it just can't happen. It's going to be a blockchain similar to, say, Matic, one of the layer 2 solutions. It's going to be something like Solana. It's going to be like something like Flare, the Flare network. Polkadot is also pretty cheap. Cardano is pretty cheap, but definitely it's not going to be Ethereum, essentially. HBAR is also going to be a one that's going to take a lot of power because it's the cheapest and one of the fastest blockchains that they can have. Do you think HBAR will be able to hit another all-time high? I'm convinced that there won't be any action for a good while. So HBAR did go through its pump, right? Let's take a look at the chart here before I put my my foot in my mouth here. HBAR. Okay. Oh, that's the market cap. Sorry. HBAR USD calculated by TradingView on Binance. Okay, so we had that peak here. Now, I don't know if that's like we will see another all-time high because I don't think that the market cycle is over. I think most likely our market cycle is going to go into 2022. A lot of people think that it's going to end in 2021. Even if it does end in 2021, I don't think that's what it's all going to be. So obviously we did hit that all-time high of roughly 58 cents on HBAR. HBAR is still holding a good amount of support, still staying relatively in its kind of area. So if you take a look at the previous moves, we kind of found some support down at the 28 cents, have rebounded back up. Now we're kind of struggling with that. Are we going to go back up? Now, I think we could. It's not I wouldn't put it out of the possibilities that could happen. Am I going to be betting super hard that it will? I don't know. I mean, it's a lower cap, I should say, than most tokens, so it has a lot of room to improve in terms of the price. And now also it has a lot of backing between like industries like LG and everything else. GM, a bunch of other, IBM, I believe, is also on the council. A bunch of other organizations. It's one of the fastest blockchains out there. It has one of the quickest finality in transactions. So is it possible that it does hit another peak? I would say yes. I don't see anything that would say no, considering how much support it's holding. That being said, I don't think it's a bad decision to have taken profits anywhere in that zone that you probably took profits in, between the $3.35 and the 58-cent mark. I think that's a great area to start pulling from H-bar, and then hopefully wait for some lower prices. But if we do see some bare bones drop bottom prices, it would be a buying indicator. So even though you've sold, it's a good time to buy as well when it gets lower. So there are 12 people watching as well. Go ahead and drop me a like if you do enjoy the live streams. Really appreciate it. I'm waiting for a long term for ADA to move. Smart contracts are still, yeah, well, they're not moving much because there's not much going on with them, right? It is, you're right. It is, it's difficult to work and make these things. But when you look at it, we don't have anything happening, right? And not like in a bad negative way. I'm not saying it like, oh, there's nothing happening with Cardano. It's just so new. It's so new. We can't expect everything to just happen overnight, right? So we do have things like Sunday Swap. We do have things like Meld. Meld is like the Aave kind of Cardano thing. I'm really interested in these two projects specifically, Meld and Sunday Swap. Most likely I'll use them interchangeably, have some Cardano on Meld, maybe take a loan on my Cardano, put it in Sunday Swap, earn a yield, pay off that loan, take that yield, right? Like things that people have been doing with Aave and Uniswap since they started. So you can obviously get involved with projects like these when they do develop. But I agree with you that not much has happened now, and the changes that Cardano will go through and the ecosystem is going to go through over this kind of next couple months to couple years is going to be incredible when we go through. So obviously it's easy to see how Cardano's price could go much, much higher than what it is currently at $2.43. Now, I have said that my target for Cardano this market cycle is in the realm of $8. Now, again, I don't think that that's a hard and fast line. We could go between the $5 and $8 mark, or we could go slightly above $8. Maybe not much more above like $12, in my opinion. But again, I try to keep things a little bit more conservative on the channel, typically in terms of my price targets. But that's more or less what I would expect Cardano to do. But over the long term, with the ecosystem building and what it'll do to onboard people into cryptocurrency, I think Cardano is going to do very well. I think it's going to be comparative and, as well known as a lot of other cryptocurrencies. I mean, even if you look at the charts right now, it's one of the top 5 cryptocurrencies, even top 3 right now, above Tether, right? Tether, I don't know if I really classify as a cryptocurrency, but in the traditional sense that it's backed by nothing, we can just call it a meme token. So we do see Cardano above Tether right now at our top 3, and then that's pretty big above Binance Coin. So our second in smart contracts is Cardano, and we don't even have smart contract dApps really ready on the blockchain. So just put that in perspective, right? It is the second smart contract blockchain right now, and it doesn't even have active dApps that we are using today. So just keep that in mind. I also heard Hedera is getting into NFTs. Yeah, Hedera is going to get into NFTs. I think right now, the ecosystem to watch for NFTs is definitely going to be Solana. Not to discount things like that's coming on the Flare network, things that's going to be coming down on the Cardano network, and also with H-bar as well. I think those are going to be some powerful blockchains to home. Things like NFTs and everything else, especially when we're looking at gas fees being as outrageous as they are on the Ethereum network. And I think people are realizing, okay, like how much can we really put up with this? How much can we really like keep this up with the gas fees before we look for alternate solutions? And they hear everything that's going on with Matic, and they see all of these such low prices. They see Solana with low prices, quick speeds. Everyone else is saying, hey, we're going to give you NFTs, very low minting costs or zero minting costs in some cases. Why would you stay on Ethereum? Now, that doesn't mean that Ethereum is going to go away. I think Ethereum, again, is going to be an incredibly good store of value, as Goldman Sachs says. But I don't think it's going to hold the majority of everyday people's NFTs, so that's just my opinion. No worries, Vapor. How's it going? Happy Saturday morning. Just got done work. Was at the Delaware Speedway. Nice, man, nice. Yeah, so overall, I think, I think at the end of the day, when you look at the gas fees and when you look at other smart contract blockchains, what they're doing with NFTs, Ethereum is definitely not going to be the end all be all. That being said, I mean, I have Ethereum. I think hold on. I'm going to make a video on this, okay? So you're getting an early peek. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I feel like it's probably changed a little bit now since everything's kind of moved. But I have a cool graph for you guys. A couple of cool graphs. So let's see here. So this right here, my friends, is my portfolio. Let me hold on. Let me get you another display capture. 1 second here. Oh, this is gonna look weird for a second, and then it's gonna look oh so right. It's not gonna look right there. There we go. Okay. So this is my actual portfolio. Now it doesn't go through the breakdown in Substrate. So this is stuff like PSwap, Zor, Val, KSM, all that stuff, and then we have Cardano and everything else. It didn't start like this. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because of Ethereum. It did not start like this at all. My number one was Bitcoin for a little bit. Then it became XRP because I started investing a lot more into XRP. Keep in mind, I was investing heavily back in 2020, just 2020. So, you might be looking like, oh, why'd you put so much in XRP? XRP gained just as much as Bitcoin in my portfolio. So I've had almost the same return. I think we're off by like 20% or something like that. So it's been a decent investment. Hasn't been that bad. It's been a roller coaster, but it hasn't been a bad investment for me. Then we have Polkadot, the Substrate code base. So again, Val, Zor, PSwap, Polkadot, everything else. Cardano is something that I got really lucky on. A friend of mine had said, hey, there's this Cardano thing. It's trading for 3 cents. You can buy it on Kraken. You should buy some Cardano. Ended up buying Cardano and then ended up becoming one of the top 3 holdings on my portfolio. What app is this? This isn't an app at all. This is, okay, so I put it together with Blockfolio to get my percentages. FTX now, so they just changed their thing to FTX. So let me just hide bear with me here. All this is that I'm showing you is something that I just put in. I took my information from Blockfolio. So I'm not sure if you can see that. So I have Blockfolio right there. And all the different numbers and the percentages of... I know you can't see that very well. Anyway, it's all the breakdowns of the percentages in the FTX app. So if you want to track with a similar app, you can do the FTX app. I know CoinGecko also does tracking, very similar. But all I did is put all my data points in the graph. So I have XRP as my number one at 30.1 or 39.1%. All my Substrate chains. So this is, again, Polkadot, KSM, everything else like that is 17%. My Cardano is sitting at 10.3%. It's actually up right now. My Cardano's at 11.78%. So again, just to go show you, Cardano never used to be my top 3 holding. It just became my top 3 holding. Ethereum, 9.1%. I probably put a bulk of my money into Ethereum, even over Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Ethereum have been battling for that number 2 spot for quite a while in my portfolio. Bitcoin is currently sitting at 8.9. Again, I would, if you want less risk, you want more Bitcoin, right? So if you want less risk, go more Bitcoin. If you want more risk, go more volatile. So you can clearly see I'm on the riskier side where I have XRP, I have my Substrate, and I have my Cardano and my Ethereum over my Bitcoin. So definitely more on the risky side. So I'm not saying that you should invest the same way that I'm doing. I'm just, full disclosure, this is what my portfolio generally looks like. Cell token, so Celsius token, another one that I got very lucky on early on. I got into Cell token when it was roughly around 40 to 60 cents. Obviously right now it's trading, give or take, somewhere in the $5 range. And then we have VeChain. Very similar story to VeChain as well. Then we have our HBAR, Theta, B Pro, and just miscellaneous tokens. I have maybe like 20, 30 different tokens, and some of the positions in some of these tokens are fairly small. So I just didn't want to track it all. But there's a lot in there. But hopefully that kind of gives you like a idea of like what I'm doing. But Coinly, I've heard good things about for taxes. I have, yeah. So Coinly, I don't know if it has like a view like that, or like I don't know like exactly like how it works in general with the APIs. I think the problem that I was having with Coinly is it didn't have the API for all of the wallets that I have, which is my issue, right? So my taxes are kind of a nightmare, because I have maybe like, if I had to guess, like around 20 different platforms that I hold crypto on right now. Now, I don't have like a lot of crypto. Like I'm not like incredibly rich or anything. I mean, like I still rent, I still like work a day-to-day job, but I have a healthy amount of crypto because I got really lucky at where I got in to cryptocurrency, right? I got in at 2020. I got in when the market was down. I got in the bear market. And through that bear market, I actually thought I was an idiot. I thought like I'm a moron investing in this cryptocurrency stuff. Like, what am I doing? Throwing my money away. You know what I mean? And I thought about this so many times. And I'm like, I'm either crazy or I have balls of steel right now. Like, this is insane. I kept on putting my entire paycheck in cryptocurrency and kept thinking, like, I am an idiot. Why am I doing this to myself? And then it went up. And now I'm no longer an idiot because every drop, I'm still in the green. I still am in profit because I was buying here. And that's the power of crypto. Everyone's talking about up here and they're getting gains and everything else. And like, oh, this is going to be so big. If you buy in now, you're gonna hit that top. This is where the money's made. The bear market, when you're second guessing yourself, when you think you're dumb, when you think you're insane for investing in something because everything else is just saying it's going down, when you're in that bear market and you can't see a light at the end of the tunnel, that's when you make money, right? You make money up here. Don't get me wrong. You do make money up here, but the long-term hold through a bear market is always going to do well. No worries, man. Hey, man, how's it going? Where would you hold your HBAR and VeChain? So VeChain I have on Bitrue right now. I don't know, and like that's in the piggy bank wallet thing. I don't know if there's a better place to have my HBAR, but I currently have that in my Exodus mobile wallet, I believe. Yes, okay, it's there. So I have HBAR in my Exodus mobile wallet, which I don't think is the best place for it. I don't know where I can get an interest yield on that. But I do have my VeChain on Bitrue, and I'm earning VeChain every day. So I earn roughly 2 to what is it, like 3%? I can't even remember. Hold on. Let me pull up Bitrue's Power Piggy. And we could take a look at that. Okay, so we have Bitrue here, and then we have the BTR lockup, so the Bitrue token or the Power Piggy. And the Power Piggy is where I have my VeChain. So yeah, 2.8% on my VeChain is what I earn. And again, I don't know if this is the most. Now there is a cap, but there's also a remaining of 5 million VeChain that can be entered into the bank. So if you have 5 million or somewhere within this number to enter in to the Power Piggy here, you can definitely go make a Bitrue account, put your VeChain on your Bitrue wallet, and then load it up here, and then earn 2.8% expected annual rate. And you get paid out every single day, so you get a little bit of VeChain every single day. So that's what I do with my VeChain. I'm a long-term holder of VeChain. I probably won't sell it, other than taking a little profits here and there. But yeah, that's where I hold my VeChain right now. Could still mine on Binance. I'm wondering. Yeah, I mean, like Binance is good too. I like Bitrue. Binance is good. I know a lot of people like other areas. I don't know if Kraken has any sort of like mining or anything, but yeah. And like the thing about VeChain, and actually I wish Jared was here. So Jared is one of the biggest VeChain bulls, constant viewer in the channel. So shout out to you if you're listening. But VeChain, one of the most surprising blockchains out there, for one, not being higher. Now, VeChain, if you don't know anything about VeChain, it is a supply chain solution. So one of the biggest issues that we find in our area today, or in our life today in consumers, is we have a problem validating where a product has come from. Validating that beef really is grass-fed and grass-finished. Validating really if that fish is antibiotic. Validating whether or not those Yeezys are actually Yeezys and not just a knockoff, or that Louis Vuitton bag is actually a Louis Vuitton bag and not a knockoff. Now, maybe the second part, the whole knockoffs, is more of a China issue, but also happens in the United States, happens on Amazon.com. We see a lot of that, a lot of the counterfeiting. But just imagine in a world where each item came with a QR code, and you could go scan that QR code and see every single point in that item's production to the point that it was on the shelf. From the moment that that calf was born to every single shot or flu or something that it got until finally it's on your plate. Imagine a world where we have that. That's VeChain. So VeChain collects all the data from different supply points of a product's life and validates that that product is real. That's why VeChain is going to do very well. Kraken doesn't do VeChain. There you go. So Kraken ends up being one of my favorite exchanges. I use Kraken a lot, but yeah, I use it for some tokens, but you know, I just figured maybe they did something for VeChain. I guess they don't. So that's unfortunate. But either way, VeChain, in my opinion, is going to be one of the best bets going into, like, I see this a lot as like an AWS, like Amazon Web Services. And no, I'm not saying like it is like a server, like a file server. I'm saying how businesses operate now. If you're a business today and you run any sort of server, you need AWS. You need that because it's too costly to run your own server. You're not going to have enough space. You have maintenance. You have to have IT guys on staff. You have to have somebody on call in case something happens. There's so many things that come with hosting a server where you could just pay AWS, right, and get the streaming service. Now, I'm not saying that VeChain is a streaming service. I'm saying VeChain is going to have the same gravity that AWS has on anyone streaming or anyone using AWS to home data. I think it's going to be the exact same thing, but with supply chains. So anyone operating a supply chain is going to want to be on the VeChain blockchain and going to want to be tracking their items point A to point B. I truly believe that something like this, especially now, especially in our COVID era, is going to revolutionize how we look at the supply chain. We will be able to understand analytics, understand best practices, how to and make things a lot more efficient too with our supply chain, which is going to be a growing thing as we need it. So I'm hugely bullish on where VeChain can go. In terms of where VeChain overall can go, I'm fully expecting $1, maybe by the end of this market cycle, maybe a little bit later. I know that sounds like, $1, just a nice round number, but I think it just makes sense with the market cap and everything else where it could go in compared to where it is. Like, I think VeChain, so ranked 29 right now at only a $6 billion market cap. That's peanuts, in my opinion. It truly is peanuts. When we're looking at a potential rise of $8 trillion into the crypto market, bringing us up to a $10 trillion crypto market. If we do see a $10 trillion crypto market, even if we 8x VeChain right now, what would 8 times 6 be? I can't do the short math in my head apparently. So $48 billion, bringing us to roughly just above XRP's market cap currently. Now, I'm not saying we're going to beat XRP. I'm just saying that we could beat that market cap if it was today. So $48 billion. And how many tokens do we have for VeChain? Let's see here. So we have 66 billion. So this is going to bring us to roughly what? So maybe my price target is a little off. This is going to bring us to roughly 48 cents, 40 cents somewhere, give or take. So 66,760,741. Sorry for not showing my calculator to give you the math. So it's 71 cents, 71.8 cents is what it would come to, give or take, somewhere around there. Yeah, I could definitely see VeChain going places with the utility of the blockchain and the kind of changes that it's going to make to our supply chain. We're going to start to wrap it up. I don't think that there are any outstanding questions. So I think that's it. Make sure, guys, that you go ahead and give me a like, too, as well. Really helps kind of share these out and helps replayability. Again, if you are worried about the China FUD or anything else, I wouldn't worry at all. Right now, everything's looking like kind of just trading level. Bitcoin is going to turn this candle green, I would expect, and we most likely will close because we have 8 hours left of this day. We'll most likely close in the green. So I'm not really worried about what is going to happen with Bitcoin today. Cardano is up. It's currently down just a little bit on its green candle. It's pretty girthy candle. But it's gonna make it up, and this weekend is going to be good for most of cryptocurrency. Again, legacy markets ended on a green day on Friday. So if we look at the Dow Jones, legacy markets did end on the green day, even though they have the Evergrande kind of FUD that's going around with the Chinese real estate market, and whether or not the Chinese economy is going to take a giant hit, or whether or not Beijing is going to step in and kind of get them out of their little issue there. Even if they do kind of go under, I only think it'll cause ripples, maybe a small, well, it'll cause a crash. It'll cause capitulation and fear, but I don't think it's going to be as big as, say, like the COVID spike, right? So I think we're going to be away from there. With all the hype on social media, have you looked into Saitama? No. Let's take a look at that before I go. So Saitama. Leave. Oh, Saitama, obviously, crypto. Fostering the future of finance. Let's see. Saitama token. So is it built on ERC20, or is it going to be migrating to its own chain? It looks like it's built on ERC20. To educate the generation of next investors, make financial wallet accessible. It's an Inu. Oh, see, you gotta help me out. Satina Inu. Now I understand the name, right? Doing One Punch Man and putting Eno there. Oh, there we go. No, we had a link right here. Oh, it's the same one, right? This is it. I think so, right? Right, Vapor? This is it, I think. The problem with 99% of coins is they have bad tokenomics. I completely agree with you. Most coins are just terrible tokenomics. Like if you see tokens like, and you can obviously tell VeChain's not about the tokenomics. VeChain's not about the increase. Let's see what we have in terms of the tokenomics. One thing that, yeah, I knew it. I love you, Vapor, and I love your e-news, but man, your token supplies are always so high. That's the one gripe that I have about your token supplies. I don't even know what that is. That's too many zeros. I feel like that's above trillion now. Or that might be 100 trillion. Yeah, that's 100 trillion. Okay, I have to count the sets of zeros. I mean, yeah. So, I'll look into it a little bit more. But yeah, I agree with what you said, Evan, too, is 99% of most bad tokens, or just tokens in general, are the tokenomic issues. But I'll have to look into a little bit more about Saitama. I know you're big into the Eno stuff right now, and they've been doing really well. I don't want to like dishearten that, because I think a lot of the Eno tokens have been trying to inch into the more like actual, like trying to be legitimate blockchains rather than just be a meme, which I think is interesting. It's going to be interesting going into a new world where like memes are kind of important for people. So I guess that's it. We'll wrap that up here. Hopefully everyone's having a good Saturday. Again, don't let the market dip get you down. We'll most likely end today in green. And yeah, happy hodling, everyone. See you, everyone. Thanks for hopping on. I really appreciate it.